massive crack is tearing Africa apart right now. But what if the real cause isn't deep underground? What if the sky is helping speed it up? Scientists now believe climate change could be pushing a continent to break apart faster than ever before. And the truth is more surprising than you think. Africa is slowly breaking apart. That might sound like something out of a disaster movie, but it's actually real. And it's happening right now. Deep across eastern Africa, a giant crack is stretching through the land, growing longer and wider over time. Imagine pulling a zipper open. That's exactly what this looks like, but on a massive continental scale. And here's the shocking part. Scientists now believe this process is happening faster than they expected. So what's really going on? To understand this, we need to go beneath our feet. And the surface of Earth might look solid, but it's actually made up of huge pieces called tectonic plates. These plates are always moving, even though we can't feel it. Sometimes they crash into each other, sometimes they slide past, and sometimes they pull apart. When plates pull apart, the ground stretches, thins, and eventually cracks open. That's exactly what's happening in Africa. For millions of years, the African continent has been slowly splitting into two parts. One part is called the Nubian Plate, and the other is the Somali Plate. These two plates are drifting away from each other, creating what scientists call the East African Rift. This rift runs through countries like Ethiopia, Kenya, and Tanzania. It's a huge zone where the land is literally being torn apart. But that's not all. Online, there's another plate nearby called the Arabian Plate, and it's also moving away from Africa. Where all three plates meet, something special happens. This point is known as a triple junction. At a triple junction, the ground is being pulled in different directions at the same time. Imagine stretching a piece of cloth from three sides. It becomes weaker, thinner, and eventually tears. That's exactly what's happening here. Now, the movement of these plates is usually very slow, just a few centimeters per year. That's about the speed your fingernails grow. But even small movements add up over time. And in Africa, we're not just talking about tiny shifts anymore. Back in 2005, something incredible happened in Ethiopia. A massive crack suddenly opened up in the ground. It stretched for about 35 miles, and in some places, it was as wide as 20 feet. That's not something that takes millions of years to notice. That's something people can actually see. Roads have split apart, buildings have been damaged, entire landscapes are changing. And it's not just cracks. This region is also filled with earthquakes and active volcanoes. The ground shakes often, and molten rock from deep inside Earth sometimes reaches the surface. All of this is a sign that the continent is under stress, and it's slowly pulling itself apart. So what will happen in the future? If this process continues, the gap will keep growing wider. Eventually, water from the Indian Ocean could rush in and fill the space. And when that happens, something incredible will occur. A brand new ocean will be born. Yes, you heard that right. Africa could one day split into two separate land masses, with an ocean in between. Parts of Eastern Africa, including countries like Somalia, Kenya, and Tanzania, could break away from the rest of the continent. Other countries that are currently landlocked, like Uganda or Zambia, could end up with coastlines in the distant future. It sounds unbelievable, but Earth has done this before. Around 180 million years ago, Africa and South America were connected. Over time, they drifted apart, and the Atlantic Ocean formed between them. What's happening in Africa today is a similar process, but this time, we're here to witness it. Now here's where things get even more interesting. Scientists have always believed that these changes are driven by forces deep inside the Earth. And that's still true. But now there's a new idea that's surprising many experts. What if the climate is also playing a role? At first, this sounds strange. Usually, tectonic activity affects the climate, not the other way around. But in Eastern Africa, scientists are seeing clues that suggest the climate might actually be helping speed things up. One important place in this story is Lake Turkana in Kenya. Today, it's a large lake, but thousands of years ago, it was much bigger. In fact, during a time known as the African Humid Period, this region was much wetter than it is today. Even the Sahara Desert was once green, filled with lakes, rivers, and plants. But over time, the climate changed. The region became drier, lakes shrank, water levels dropped. And that's when scientists noticed something unusual. They studied layers of sediment at the bottom of Lake Turkana. These layers act like a history book, showing what happened over thousands of years. And inside those layers, they found signs of past earthquakes and small cracks in the earth. This led to an interesting idea. What if lakes like Turkana are actually sitting inside giant cracks in the earth? In other words, what if they are part of the rifting process itself? And if that's true, then changes in water levels could affect how fast the land is splitting. Here's how. Water is heavy. When a large lake sits on the Earth's surface, it pushes down on the crust below. But when that water disappears because of drought or climate change, that pressure is removed. Without that weight, the ground can move more freely. Think of it like loosening a tight grip. The plates can slide more easily, which could lead to more earthquakes and faster movement. There's another factor too. Beneath Lake Turkana, there is hot molten rock, also known as magma. When the water level drops, the pressure on this magma decreases. This allows it to expand, like opening the lid on a boiling pot. As the magma expands, it pushes against the surrounding rock, adding even more stress to the area. This can trigger more fault movement and even volcanic activity. Scientists have found evidence that after the region became drier, the movement along faults slightly increased. Now the increase might sound tiny, just a fraction of an inch per year. But over thousands of years, that adds up. And it could help explain why the rift seems to be opening faster than expected. But it's important to understand one thing. The climate isn't causing Africa to split apart from the beginning. The real driving force is still deep underground. Scientists believe there is something called a superplume beneath East Africa. A superplume is a massive column of extremely hot rock rising from deep inside the Earth. As it pushes upward, it weakens the crust above it, making it easier for the plates to pull apart. So the process starts deep below the surface, but the climate may be giving it an extra push from above. It's like the Earth is being stretched from both sides, inside and out. Now you might be wondering, how long will this take? The answer is both exciting and disappointing. Scientists estimate that it could take between 5 to 10 million years for the continent to fully split and form a new ocean. That's far beyond a human lifetime. But in terms of Earth's history, that's actually very fast. And what makes this even more fascinating is that we're able to watch it happen. Thanks to satellites and modern technology, scientists can measure tiny changes in the Earth's surface. They can see the land slowly moving year by year. They can track how cracks are growing, how valleys are widening, and how the landscape is changing. This isn't just a theory anymore. It's happening in real time. And even though the final result is millions of years away, the early stages are already visible today. So the next time you think of continents as solid and unchanging, remember this. The ground beneath your feet is always moving, sometimes slowly, sometimes suddenly. And in the case of Africa, it's moving in a way that could reshape the planet forever. The Earth is changing right beneath us, and Africa's split is proof of that. If you found this fascinating, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more mind-blowing discoveries. There's always something incredible happening on our planet. You just have to know where to look.